Hey guys, you've joined us at Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta and we bring this show live for you from IIJS, which is, by the way, the 40th series into this one, and this is happening in India. It's the largest B2B show in the world, the second largest that is, and this time around we are given to understand that there are 3,600 stalls there and there are 2,100 exhibitors who are showcasing their very beautiful designs, and this comes in ahead of the festival season, the wedding season. The hope is, the feeling is that it also is good monsoon, not just the urban demand, but the rural demand also is expected to pick up. Of course, in the Indian markets, we've seen budget cut import duty from 15 to 6%. That is a big help. And the international gold prices have declined as well, and that has been supportive in jewelry buying as well. Let's get in our first guest, and joining us now is Mr. Amit Pratihari from De Beers. Amit, hi, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you,
it has been a good budget to begin with.
Absolutely. I think it's brought life and energy to the whole category. I think it's an exciting time, and I think people are finding more reasons to buy diamond jewelry. So I think it's a great move from the government. Yeah.
So last year was all about plain gold jewelry demand and exports as well. Diamond did not do well, but do you think the numbers have started to look better now?
Yeah, definitely. I tell you, diamond not doing well, it is of course a reality. I think that's more to do with the global economy, especially China completely going zero on the luxury purchase and so forth. But I think among all these things, I think India is an absolute bright spot. And I think if you see the growth of natural diamond, it is always a double digit, and the big chains, organized retail is driving that change. And more interestingly, people, when they are looking at diamond jewelry, they are not looking at a jewelry which they want to keep it at the locker. They want a jewelry which they can wear every day, more transformational, and they don't need reasons to buy. They buy when they feel. So self-purchase categories particularly growing in the diamond category.
Also, when you look at the pricing itself, and we know that the small diamond prices haven't declined as much, but the bigger chunks have seen, the bigger stones have seen a decline. So anywhere between 5 to 20% of a cut in diamond prices. How are you reading it? Are we near bottom now? Are we near support?
Yeah, I think price, of course, there is a pressure on price. That's primarily to do with the demand and supply. But yes, that is a short-term, pressure on pricing, but when you see the long term, I think it's very, very promising. And because diamond is the only product which holds the true emotional value of what you are purchasing. Yeah, I think from a long term, it is quite promising. Yeah.
Amit, I remember diamond is forever as a tagline from De Beers. Are you looking to improvise it, improve it, come out with another one?
I think a diamond is forever, it will stay forever. I think as a company, we are re-looking at the whole strategy. If you look at, we have taken some initiative in the US, wherein we have tied up with Signet and driving the natural demand category. Similarly in China and India, of course, we are looking at it more seriously. We are working with a lot of industry bodies, and we will re-energize the natural diamond category definitely, for sure.
So when you look at US, we've seen the demand decline. China isn't doing great as well. Middle East is doing good, and so is India, as you
Absolutely.
said. So when you look at India, and especially ahead of the festival season now, what is the strategy in sense of market, branding, campaigns that De Beers is looking at?
So, as I said, we are going in a complete transformation. We are looking India very, very differently. We want to stay connected to Millennial and Gen Z because they are the ultimate buyer. So, from a category point of view, we are working with, as I said, industry bodies and making sure that the narrative of natural diamond is stronger. For that, a couple of things we are doing. We are working with the top retailers, making sure that the house is in order. So the people, when the end client walk into the store, they are given the right messaging. At the same time, working with the midstream manufacturing, making sure the supply chain is well connected to the retail. And from a De Beers Group point of view, we are looking at the brand Forever Mark very, very differently, whereas the incubation is happening in India. And the idea is that it is India for India now, and then the second phase is India for the world. So quite a promising time for De Beers in India.
Amit, the final question, and it's a two-part one. One, you've launched Tracer, which really seems to be doing quite well. The other part is the G7 rough diamond ban that is in process right now. How have you seen that develop?
I think from a global market point of view, G7 is the whole process of G7 is still another work process. We have a different view and we are making it clear in the different industry bodies. But yes, it is a process which we have to go through. I think for that, Tracer stands very well placed. It was initially conceptualized to support De Beers supply, but I think Tracer we are offering to the industry to support the industry so that the whole pipeline integrity can be maintained, can be visible through blockchain technology. And Manisha, I must not, last thing, I just wanted to highlight that you are standing in the De Beers sustainable booth. For everything we have built in this booth stands about sustainability, and I think that is the core ethos of De Beers. The Building Forever is one of the big initiative. And here we just have Tracer, we have Forevermark, and we have Ignite, which talks about technology. These are all verification technology, which will add confidence to the end customer. So we are doing our bit, making sure that the end client has the confidence on this category.
All right, and absolutely bang on ahead of the festival season there as
Absolutely.
well. Amit, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Manisha.
Well, that was all the conversation about diamonds, where the market believes that the prices are now near bottom, and with the festivities coming up and the markets improving, not just locally but globally as well, there could be some support coming in for them. But let's talk about gold now, and joining us then is Sachin Jain from World Gold Council. Sachin, thank you so much for joining us. And IIJS continues to be bigger, better, and you also launched a company which you seem to be focusing here on. How are you looking at the growth of this? We've spoken about this already, but do tell us on when do you see it getting operational and what more work is now being done?
Thanks, Manisha. Thanks for being here and welcome you to the IIJS. It's a very important platform. Almost, it's the testament of what's going to happen in the coming months. And I can tell you the testament really reveals it's going to be a rock solid next half of the year. And as you mentioned, we've unveiled IIJS. I as in gold is for ages, like IIJS, India Association for Gold Excellence and Standards. It's the first self-regulatory organization in the gold world, in the entire value chain. And I can very proudly say this is the first from India. It's never happened across the world, and as we make this mature, this will become the sort of gold standard for the world in the gold business. So we're very proud of that. We formed the first board where the interest is very high, and that only reflects that the direction put forward to us by the respectable Prime Minister of an organized world, the recent step in the union budget around reduction of duty, again a push to the organized world. And I can tell you on ground, the general retailers, small, large, all people in the value chain are super excited to say, give us a roadmap and we're willing to walk that path. Okay. So I'm very excited about it.
All right. So, it's been 3 or 4 days now that we've been looking at IIJS. What's your sense? There are a lot of people that I can see around here, a lot of interest as well, various nice designs also. Are you looking at, are the initial trends now coming in on what the demand looks like?
Actually, there's been a reverse trend, and that's an interesting conversation. So go back 3 months, the whole conversation was, let's make lightweight products, yes. Let's use technology and all of those things. And with just mentally, and I think it's not about the actual number, just mentally the bit of correction, the pricing, it's gone back to pure gold, right products, heavyweight, and not recreate things which don't exist. But I think it really fundamentally is bringing back the appeal to gold, the appeal to emotionally collective consumers, and certainly the returns of gold have been phenomenal. So when you sit around a dinner table and your parents give you a bit of advice, I'm sure youngsters will take that advice. That's going to be a good time.
Really. So when you look at the demarcation between investment and jewelry buying, and of course solid gold buying, which has been the trend last year, by the way, in sense of jewelry exports as well, plain gold did much better. Do you see studded and diamonds coming back majorly strongly into fore?
I think so. It'll be a revival for diamonds as well. It's going to be a good time for everybody. That's fundamental. But I think going back to your point on looking at jewelry, let's look at particularly quarter two. Quarter two, we had a bit of drop in the overall business, where we saw 17% drop in jewelry, still at about 68,000 crores. But if you look at investment demand, that went up 47% in volume, 75% in value. Now, if you look at combined as an output of this, I think more creativity is required so that even investment demand like bars and coins, we can not just sell them as just coins, but create some cult around that and some trend which younger consumers can buy. So I'm very hopeful about that.
A final question then, Sachin, and going forward from here, we've seen money being spent from the industry now. I mean, I've seen World Gold Council ads and in various parts of the country now. So is this a plan, strategy ahead of the festival season?
Well, I think the key is that as an industry, we need to be connected to younger consumers. And collectively we as an industry have to talk to them in the changing lifestyle they're living. And hence the role of World Gold Council. We of course have one of our campaign called You Are Gold, which is about talking to the new age consumer. But in the long term, we'll be creating this highway, which is a highway of how to communicate, what is the theme. And we think that all brands, you could be high-end brand, or you could be a Ferrari or a bus, you could drive on that highway and get as common as industry, talk to the younger consumer. That's our goal. So we can emotionally connect to the goal what it is for.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sachin, for joining us and giving us a sense on that. Well, the festival season is absolutely coming and a lot of work being done by the industry ahead of that.